Yo, and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji, with me is Kieran. How you doing, boy?
Thank you for having me back on after my hiatus, my 2-year holiday in the championship.
We're not gonna tell people who you are yet until we do the fan introduction, but that is a bit of a clue. Yeah. How you doing, buddy? How are you enjoying your summer so far?
Good, yeah. Having 2 kids off school and trying to find stuff to do with them every day. And I don't know about you, but when we were younger, I think our parents didn't do nearly as much as what parents expected now. We just let them, they let us get off and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
To try and think of stuff every single day.
But aren't you a teacher? You should have so many ideas.
I am, but the last thing I want to do is teach in the 6 weeks. So I'm doing none of that. So it's kind of let them off their own devices, and then if they need me, I'm there as a helicopter parent, just trying to just surveying, make sure they're okay, make sure they're safe. But I must say that at least the weather's been relatively good, so at least you can get outside. And
yeah, it's finally turned for us UK residents.
It has, because I do think I think over the winter, probably the worst I think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, in
terms of rainfall, and as a very keen golfer,
yeah,
it was the worst. I think it was 3 or 4 months without playing, which is
that's painful.
It's what you expect in Canada. I think they have like 6 months off because of the snow and rain and shite weather. So So it's been going good. It's kind of crept up. The draft season very crept up on, I think, this year. But I think we have the Euros.
Yeah.
It's kind of caught us a little bit off guard.
Yeah.
I know I'm undercooked, underprepared.
Yeah. Your High Rollers League kicked off though, because our previous guest Jacob, Southampton rep, I think he was mid-draft or whatever. I think he mentioned that you're the organizer, I think, for that.
I was.
Okay.
I was. Yeah. So I had 5 leagues last year, 1 dynasty and 4 normal.
Okay.
And it was too much. Not to look after them.
Yeah.
Look after them, it's easy. Just pick your teams.
Yeah.
It's to cheer in those games.
Yeah.
Because you have so many players for and so many against.
Yeah.
Most of the time they negated each other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great. That's great for this league. Oh, it didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you get your team similar to each other and you start trading the same players.
Yeah.
That's fine if you have similar picks. So I said, I'll pull away from that. So
fair.
I think FP Laments took over the High Rollers, which is a very, very competitive league.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I've heard.
Competitive. Yeah. I fortunately managed to win it last year.
Yeah.
And I think also because you run it, it's the one you spend the most time on.
Yeah.
It's the first league you go to.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I like having an equal weight in all my leagues, so I can go. If I'm doing particularly badly in one, I'll go to that one first. Try and
yeah.
But if you have a league that is yours,
yeah,
you started, you go to that one first, and it ends up being that's the main league, and the rest are sub leagues. And I didn't really.
What's the point then?
Particularly enjoy that. Exactly. So I've scaled it down to 2 leagues now, plus a dynasty league. And hopefully that will make me enjoy watching your Forest Brentford game on a Monday night.
Yeah.
Just that little bit more enjoyable. And that's what I should. I don't know about you. How many leagues are you in this year?
Well, I was in 6 leagues this morning. I dropped out of 1 mid-draft today, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah. I read that. We'll go to that.
Anyways, we're here for an Inside Trax episode, right? Listeners, welcome back to yet another episode. So before we get started, I'll let Kieran do the fan introduction. Tell us your name, your Twitter handle, the club that you're representing today, where you're from, and a little bit about what you do.
So my name is Kieran Neat, also known as Fantrax Fox. I've been drafting. I've been working it out 10 years.
Ooh, experience.
Which is,
veteran.
I think that is one of the longest because I think I've been on 4 different platforms. So I started off, I can tell you the very first season when Ozil signed for Arsenal.
Oh, wow.
When Benteke was at Villa and Suarez was banned for that.
For the biting.
Good. Yeah. so we started as an FPL. We obviously had the budget and we didn't do head-to-head. We did total points. It was completely disgrace.
Yeah.
But then we got through other leagues. We found another FPL league that was more like a spreadsheet. Then we went to FPL, back to FPL, went head to head. Then went to Targa, and then I think is it 4 years of Fantrax?
Something like that.
Four or 5. So up to date now. I am a Leicester fan. If that's not come across on Twitter, I think my biggest fan of is just winding people up.
Yes, you're well known for that for sure. But I think if people don't know the type of person you are and they take that shit to heart, then fuck them.
Like... Oh yeah. It's the ones that bite. If you bite back, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
If they don't bite, then I'll leave them alone.
Yeah.
It's my enjoyment.
Yeah.
And I think with Leicester fans, and I think I've said this about a few clubs, that you don't find many Leicester fans outside of Leicester.
Yeah.
Whereas I know Villa fans, Newcastle fans, we're probably the most successful recent years of the fans.
Yeah.
And that sounds harsh because there are people support outside of where they're from, which is very hard to find Leicester fans.
Yeah.
I think in fact one of my leagues I've got a Leicester fan.
Okay.
AC 884 I think his name is. And I was shocked. I was like, yes, another fan that we can digress and trash and but I think as a Leicester fan, it is the most. I think being a Leicester fan and an England fan has been the most ridiculous 10 years any fan can go through. The pain, the heartache, the enjoyment, the devastation.
Yeah,
and all trying to teach kids at the same time. So I am a school teacher by day and troller by by night. But no, being a Leicester fan is almost an occupation.
It's been a roller coaster the last few years for sure.
It has, and as we go through this episode, this will be very, very different.
From when you were last on,
and I'm the most optimist of Leicester fans.
I mean,
but we'll see.
Mate, I was with you, same wavelength. I remember last time we recorded. I was quite high on Leicester, their season, their assets, and it all kind of fell apart. But I mean, we'll definitely get into that, right? But listeners, again, welcome back. Quick breakdown of how this episode's gonna go. We're going to have 3 main segments: general discussion, draft advice, where we're talking about Fantrax assets, and just general Fantrax, manager advice, right? So general discussion, we talk about impact of new manager or any changes in ownership, club's previous season's performance versus new season's expectations, old system versus new system, so impact of transfers in and out of the club as far back as last summer. Expected formation and starting 11 as well for the upcoming 24-25 season. And then obviously we're going to chat Fantrax. We'll find out Kieran's first pick from Leicester, his next 3 picks, which rounds he's going to take them, at least 1 hidden gem and at least 1 trap. And then obviously we'll pick Kieran's brain as an experienced veteran, based on the number of years he's been playing this game, how he spends his fab, how he does trades, any traditions that he has, and lessons learned throughout his career thus far. All right, let's get started. So I kind of like to give a quick overview of, how your last season went, etc. There's not too much to talk about from my perspective, just because I've not followed the championship closely. But basically, I mean, quick summary, and obviously you can add detail after this, is you guys returned to the championship after 9 consecutive seasons in the Premier League. You sealed promotion back to the Prem against Leeds, I think following QPR's win over Leeds, 4-0. And then 3 days later, you had a 3-0 victory away to Preston North End, where you secured the championship title and your record 8th second-tier title with 1 match to spare. And if I'm not mistaken, your start to the championship as well was record-breaking. I think it was like 10 or 11 games. It kind of went tits up after that. But yeah, can you touch on, previous season performance in a sense? Then maybe you can then go into what Maresca's like and who you have at the helm now, Steve Cooper.
Yeah, so I think the first, even though we had an unbelievable start, we were talking about Reading's record to try and break. Our performances were some of the worst. We were winning when we didn't deserve to. But I think that's them trying to implement the Maresca ball, which you will see this season.
Mate, I feel like every time we record, it's this Chelsea to Leicester, Leicester to Chelsea trade transition, and like.
Oh my word! I think you've given us 300 million or something over the last 10 years. It's absolutely crazy. So the first 10 games we were on fire, but our performances weren't. Then teams started to suss us out. And by that means sit back and get that counter, which is probably not what teams do in the Championship. There's no real sitting back. It's not like it's a dominance of teams. We have Man City, Liverpool's in the Prem, where you do have a low block. Teams figured out that if we put a low block behind us, we didn't really have that. And you'll find out Maresca doesn't play a 10. He plays 2 8s.
Yeah.
We didn't really, and one of them was Dewsbury Hall, and the other one was Ndidi. They're both not known for their passing ability. Dewsbury Hall is more of a carrier and probably more of a goal scorer than he had actually primary assists. So we really struggled to break down the defences, and we lost quite a lot of games. I think it's like a spread of games. I think we lost like 5 out of 6 or something, and I think we lost them like 1-0, and we couldn't finish. I think we had probably one of the. So it can't be one of the worst XGs because we obviously scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
But the chances we missed over and over and over again was, and it's one thing that I think the fans didn't adhere to Maresca is, and people saying dislike and hate and love. He was there for a season.
Yeah.
Right. That's only reserved for a special French midfielder that you took from us.
Love that guy, though. Oh my god.
Only he can come in for a season and truly capture everything we wanted from him. Maresca, I think he wanted more from the fans. I do think the fans were very fortunate to be in the position they were after 10 games. We were flying, and all of a sudden, we should be dominating every game, win every game, and the Championship doesn't let you do that. So we struggled, and he was like, "You need to back us. You need to." But we want to see a progressive manager that can change. We had Rodgers before, who was very similar.
Yeah.
Plan A, didn't have a plan B. Luckily, our plan A was good enough because we were in the Championship, and we had probably, maybe Leeds, man for man, the best team in the league. But that didn't translate to the field. So, moving into the Prem, our team is weaker. So, how do you go from winning the Championship to a weaker team in the... And I think it's... I don't know what you've heard about how the club's being run. I think there's a graphic put out, was it a couple weeks ago or last week, about how much revenue, how much sales for teams. I think Chelsea is like 1 billion in sales, Man City, or 1.02. We were 700 million in sales in the last 12 years or something like that. You can't sell that many and be in dire straits.
Yeah.
It does not work. We don't sell Dewsbury Hall unless we have to. And moving back to 2 years ago, I look at the players we had to let go: Barnes, Maddison, Tielemans,
Castagna.
Yeah. Interestingly, not one of them has lit it up. Madison for the first third.
Yeah.
He got injured for the second third and then couldn't get back to that. That's kind of classic Madison.
Yeah.
None of those players have lit it up.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes me a little bit happy that my delusion was so grand that I thought they were better than they were.
Yeah.
Maybe obviously we overperformed with FA Cup, 2 top 5s.
Yeah.
Massive overperformed.
You didn't have to bring up the FA Cup, but yeah, thanks for that.
That was.
It was a great goal by Tielemans. So I mean,
it
can't
was,
even fight that.
And then to see Chilwell get a goal disallowed was even sweeter.
Yeah. Who's like on the fringes now as well. So I mean, there you go, another move that kind of fell through in the end. So.
Yeah. I'm hoping. Like I said, I'm the pessimist now. Cooper. Apparently, he's a progressive manager, but he said, I've heard people say that he didn't have the players at Forest to play the way he wants. I'm thinking, well, the players at Forest are very similar to ones at Leicester in terms of wingers on the paint with not so much a 10, but Gibbs White 10, 8. So he does have that. So apparently he said he didn't have the players in like an interview or something. And I was like, okay. So hopefully, I don't want to go away from the Maresca ball, because if we sit back, we'll just get obliterated.
Yeah,
we're going to get absolutely obliterated. Vestergaard just signed a new 3-year deal at the age of 33, which is wild.
It's crazy. Yeah,
he was one of our best players last year. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
and that shows you the quality of Championship. Wout Faz is hot garbage.
Yeah, I saw it in the Euros. Yeah.
Yeah, if he shaved his head and just be a normal-looking guy, he wouldn't even be anywhere near the team. I don't know why this hair gives him that eccentricity lifeline to be given more chances. But we have signed that Okoli.
Okay.
From, is it Atalanta? I believe. And he, from what I was reading, he not very good on the ball, which is not promising. And we've got like Cody, again, not at the worst fan Trax centre half you could possibly find until he pops up with a goal against you.
Yeah.
And then you've got two right backs who on their day were some of the best in that era, with Ricky P and James Justin.
Yeah.
Pereira that season he
was like a defender one at one point.
Oh, he was almost a right winger.
Yeah.
Because you had Perez tucking in. He was, for me, and obviously I'm slightly biased, he was the most complete defender.
Yeah. Previous to his injury that kept him out for so long. Yeah. For sure.
Correct.
I see that, yeah.
And I was like, we're going to lose him to a top 5 European club.
Yeah.
And then he broke his knee.
Yeah.
And I won't say he struggled. He can't get back to that level he was. Then he broke his leg. That horrific challenge by Tyler Morton from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Which set him back. He keeps having setbacks.
But
because he's such a wonderful footballer, he's the one that cuts in and makes the inverted right backs to centre mid, which I think Reece James might be doing.
Yeah, I've been watching preseason, seeing Maresca ball. It's funny exactly what you talked about. Coming up against teams that have that low block, or really just kind of negate us from playing through the center. I mean, look at Man City versus us last night. And I mean, this is kind of time-stamping this when we're recording Sunday evening BSE time zone. Yeah, City ripped through us, basically. And you can see, like, the players were just kind of stuck to this, okay, we're going to play out from the back, we're going to play this particular way, and they just kept getting picked off. So I've seen the Reece James playing inverted. It kind of makes me wonder about how to value him based on how Ricky P had done. And I mean, Cucurella can do the same thing from the left as well.
That's what I think he needs to see where he gets more value from. Cucurella coming inside and Reece James, but then Reece James won't be the flying fullback. He'll be tucking in.
Yeah. He'd be like a right centre-back sort of thing.
Yeah, does that hurt him even more?
Yeah.
It's tough to value that. And then where does Gusto fit in?
Yeah.
Because he's an out and out, just right back.
Yeah. He tries to play him in the center. I don't think he works there. I really don't. Because he gave away the ball quite a few number of times. And obviously, listen, preseason, you take it with a grain of salt. People are now learning systems and getting fit and all that sort of stuff. But there's simple little things you should not be getting wrong on a football pitch, right?
No. I think Maresca will stick to that. He will stick to the... Except I'm talking about Chelsea rather than...
No, it's all right. It's all intertwined at this point.
But it is. So it's all the same. You'll see it. So what he does, he plays a lot in the middle.
Yeah.
So all the players come into the middle.
Yeah.
And then it leaves Mavididi, Fatu, or Mudryk and
Noni Madueke in this case,
wide.
Yeah.
So once it goes to the eights, and you notice Dewsbury Hall plays on the left hand side, which you probably think a right footer would suit that because like Tony Cruz, they come inside and it's an easier position.
Yeah.
He likes the same foot on that side because that almost the outside of the ball pass the fullback to the feet isolates them.
Yeah.
And we get so much on the transition. Obviously, Maresca doesn't know that, he doesn't know that the fitness levels of the Premier League are so much higher that when they press in that midfield, you have got to be Busquets, Rodri to break that pass. I don't think Chelsea, Enzo, Fernandez a little bit, and Caicedo.
Caicedo is still hit and miss.
Are they press resistant?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah,
if he can get press resistant midfielders, he'll do well. And I think that's why Winks.
Yeah.
And this will be a little controversial. I think if we had Winks in the Premier League, we would have stayed up.
Oh, okay.
Because the biggest thing is we got the ball from the centre halves to Ndidi or Tielemans.
Yeah.
Tielemans was too deep. Ndidi wasn't good enough on the half turn. Maddison then drops too far back. We're too far back in general.
Yeah.
Winks is that good on the ball. He'll just hold it and play it. Yeah. Now, he won't. In the Prem, he won't have that time. And that's my. But he's good enough to then pop it around. So is Ricky P. But like you say, it's a swarm.
Yeah.
Once that swarm comes in, and again, in pre-season, we have been inverting off our fullback. We have been playing the same system. I think it's wise from Cooper to see if it works. However, the last pre-season, I think, was it Bochum we played or somewhere in Germany? We lost 1-0. Obviously, scores don't really matter, but performance was alarming. And they said that not having a number 9, and we'll come back to who you should pick and whatnot. But was Cooper just the one that was available?
Yeah, so like what other than like Steve Cooper changing, has anything else changed at the club? Like coach wise, anything that might influence how we look at some assets?
Not really.
Okay.
Unfortunately. It's hard to know. It's hard to know what the assets are going to be like until 3 or 4 games into the season.
Yeah.
We won't know. And even then, results will probably dictate what people think the performances are like. Because you can play well and lose 2-0.
Yeah.
No, Chelsea managers, owners don't care about that. No owner doesn't like how you play. It's results.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think in the Championship you can get away with it because there's more games. You can, and top 2 go up, and there's more scope for failure.
Yeah.
I don't think Cooper's, and also we haven't talked about the points deduction yet.
Yeah, I have it in my notes. I was saving it for a bit later, but okay. So
we'll come to that.
So let's talk about, I guess, some of the ins and outs. I mean, we touched on the outs as far as last summer. I don't think we need to go over that again. But let's talk about the ins from that summer. I mean, you mentioned Harry Winks. Can you touch on maybe the impact that he had on Leicester during your title-winning run?
Yeah, I think he's very, very underrated. Very underrated. Not so much. I think the sign itself, it's 8 million for a England international. Well, you can't really say ex because they haven't retired yet. So he was an England international. For him to drop down was a surprise. I did hear that his wages, there was a wage promise. He took a pay cut but then he got a massive pay rise if we were to be promoted, which is classic as we give massive contracts to players who then run them down to nothing and we let them go for free or whatever, unless you buy them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anyone else buys our players except Chelsea. So he's been very important to us, but and then you've got the two wingers, and we'll come to those two more particularly because they're the ones that draft. But they since Mara, in fact,
you're mentioning Mavididi and Fatawu.
In fact, yeah. So those two, we've never had. Even Mahrez, flying winger. You know, Mahrez wasn't a flying winger. He was very draw you in, chop you.
Yeah.
Ridiculous quality. We've never had out and out pace on a wing. You know, we've had Perez. Barnes was I'll try and knock it past you and run. That's not a winger that comes inside. But Mavididi and Fatawu, I think at one point last season it was just them two. If they didn't do anything, then we were in trouble.
Yeah, they seem to dominate your attacking numbers quite a lot.
Yes, and it's because of I was saying before, the isolation that the box of four make to allow the balls out to them to then go, right, I'm one-on-one.
Right.
Almost like a cheat system.
Yeah.
Where I think what we used Ronaldo did at United, and I'm not comparing those two.
Well, maybe current Ronaldo isn't that good, more. But yeah.
So basically, you say you almost cheat the system, not cheat the system, but we can allow you to cheat. So we work a bit harder. So when it gets to you, you've got a one-on-one, which is why he's probably told when you get the ball, get at him.
Yeah.
Which is, he's probably a lost art form now with wingers.
Yeah.
Now, how many? Madueke does it. He beats his man.
Maybe Doku sometimes.
Doku, yeah. He has unfortunately that one kind of chop.
Yeah. He's a bit of a one-trick pony. I keep saying
he's one-trick pony, but you can't. You can.
It's hard to be that trick.
Yeah. Yes, it's very hard to beat that chop. Salah doesn't do it. His age is obviously a huge thing. So I think having those two, Hudson-Odoi, Elanga, they've got a little bit about them as well. But it's definitely dying art breeds. But I think with their directness, it destroyed the championship. Teams. They were ridiculous. And I know obviously Mavididi, I knew about it because I know he's a young lad when he went to France, didn't he? I heard about him. I never heard of Fatawu in my life.
Yeah.
And we've gone on loan from Sporting and thinking, who is this kid? And he's just phenomenal. Really, really is good. And we'll come to be surprised who to draft.
Yeah.
But I think obviously we signed wings. We signed those two wingers. Apart from that, we didn't. Yes, we lost three important players.
Yeah.
We got those three players in. I think if you looked at Southampton, did they lose James Ward-Prowse? Was that it?
Yeah, I mean they lost quite a few, but in terms of the let's say the average football fan is aware of, James Ward-Prowse is about it.
From their starting 11, they didn't really lose too much. Leeds they lost.
Who's that? Calvin Phillips. Surely that's not the name we're going to mention.
No, not Calvin. Who was the striker? Rodrigo. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So they didn't lose too many either.
Yeah.
So it was important that when we got our players in, they were one, proven with wings, and two, the wingers. But I'll tell you who was a big plus, and I think we struggled since he left, when Casper left.
Oh, is that Cesare Cassidy?
No, sorry, Casper.
Oh, Kasper Schmeichel. Yeah.
But Cassidy, he was a great 8.
Yeah.
I think he got a lot of stick from the fans because he didn't do a lot on the ball, and I think that's why Maresca didn't trust him. But he was almost like a poor man's Jude Bellingham.
Okay.
Gets tall, gets in.
Yeah, he has the physicality.
Gets on the end of stuff. Yeah. Obviously, I'm diluting Jude's attributes massively there, but he wasn't involved in the build up. He was more on the end of stuff. And I think he got quite a few goals. This isn't that, but Hermansen, the keeper.
Yeah, that was another name I wanted to ask you about. Coming in from Brøndby.
Yeah, so I was surprised how good he was. I think your team, shockingly, we're in for him, and I was losing my head.
Who aren't we in for, Kieran?
It's true. It's true. It must your transfer feed on your Discord must be endless. That Chelsea one. You must have muted that feed because.
Yeah, I've not opened it since I made it.
Good, because and also on a separate note, I've got Gallagher in the Dynasty League, so I'm absolutely fuming.
I can imagine. Yeah.
At the treatment of him more than anything.
Yeah, but it shouldn't come as a shock for Chelsea fans or people aware of how Chelsea do their business these days. So
I heard that was one of the reasons that Poch didn't stay.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
He wanted, obviously, he works best with young players.
Yeah.
English players in particular.
Yeah.
Chalobah and Gallagher is like, I want to keep them.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah. It's painful to see a club being run more like a business than a football club. But that's the age that we live in. So.
Well, I'm hoping if your club can run like a business, maybe you can give some advice to how to run our club like a business.
Not sure our model is the one you really want to use as a reference, but
I don't know how we can. But with the I think he'll keep the same system. I think he'll go with very similar people in those positions. Who have we signed that will get into the starting 11?
So I mean, before we touch on the current window, two other names that I want to touch on really quickly: Tom Cannon and Connor Cody. What did they do last season? What were their roles? One youth, one senior.
Yeah, so Cannon, because we kept rotating all three of them. Vardy, Daka, Cannon kept rotating. I think Cannon came in for a couple of games. He was phenomenal. He scored 2 goals in one game, and I was like, this kid, I think they paid, 5-6 million from Everton.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, he just didn't trust him. Just didn't trust him. I don't know if he doesn't work hard enough out of the system. I don't know, because it's hard to watch that. You don't watch the striker whilst the ball is the other end. You don't really watch. So I don't know why it doesn't favour him. But I did read somewhere that Cannon is going on loan if Vardy can prove his fitness.
Okay.
So that shows you where his idea is.
Yeah.
Cody I think he was important for the mental side. He's a captain off the pitch.
Great leader, great talker. I mean, you listen to some of what he had to say during the Euros as well. I think he was on some of the 5 Live streams and stuff like that. Yeah, comes across as a great lad.
Yeah, I think he's the off the field manager almost. It's someone. Considering he dropped down to the Championship when he probably didn't need to. He probably could have got a contract at a Premier League club and pretty much ended his England chances at the same time. Yeah. If you drop down to Championship, you're not going to have a shot. Maybe 10 years ago when Nugent got a call up, and I think he still holds is it the best goal to game ratio of any England striker?
Is it?
Him and Francis Jeffers.
Okay, I did not know this.
One game, one goal.
Yeah,
yeah, one game, one goal. I think Nugent stole it from Jermaine Defoe. I think about an inch from going in. Nugent taps it in.
Right.
And that's pretty much his legacy as an England striker. So I think having Cody, he speaks so well. Even when he came in for a few games, he looked really. It's a Championship. He's gonna. But again, if he's not playing in the back three, he shouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
But I think there's a reason we signed him, and I think having leaders, and we're going to need him. I think for the mental battle that we're going to go through.
Yeah.
In the next 9 months.
All right, let's look at the current window then. Couple of popular names that Fantrax managers will be aware of: Mark Albrighton, Kelechi Iheanacho, Dennis Pratt, even. Can you quickly touch on these guys? Like, is it that? I mean, Mark Albrighton's been around for ages now, so I'm assuming that's an age thing, maybe.
Yeah, the greatest free transfer in Premier League history.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of a better one on a free. Yeah, purely age thing. He probably was on a decent wage as well, because of obviously the bonuses he would have got from being an FA Cup winner.
Yeah,
and he did score one of the biggest goals ever against Sevilla in that second leg in the second round in the knockouts. Kelechi was I loved him.
Yeah,
and I hated him, and I hated him both in real life and Fantrax.
Yeah,
I think it was when Harvey Barnes got injured and Leicester turned to a 3-5-2 and played Vardy and Kelechi up top.
Yeah, that was dynamite. Yeah. It was dynamite.
Kelechi's purple patch then was him and Vardy were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I thought, yes, we know he can finish.
Yeah.
You know, I think he scored in every round in the FA Cup win or something, bar in the FA Cup. He's phenomenal. But when we're looking at strikers to get in, who is it? Oh, this one's going to Andre Ayew. Not Andre, Jordan Ayew.
Yeah.
And he's 33.
Yeah, that's a bit of a baffling transfer that is currently in the rumor mill at the moment. I don't think it's confirmed, but yeah.
And we've also owned, Cordova Reed.
Yeah. That's one of the
31.
Yeah.
That one is purely for the he can play both wings experience.
Yeah. He's a very versatile player. You can put him in fullback and he'll do a job. So
yeah, I'm hoping his wage isn't, because I think we struggle to attract because we can't offer the bigger wages. I think we were in for Reece Nelson, or there was rumours about Reece Nelson. That's broken down because we can't offer a big enough package.
Right.
Which is surprising because Reece Nelson can't be on.
He can't be on insane wages. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And usually a loan is what, 80%, maybe 90% of the wage, or do you know what I mean? So it can't be. I tell you what might be. I bet it's the fee. There's always since playing recent football managers, there's now a fee attached to every single loan.
Yeah.
So we don't know what the fee is. Reece Nelson, obviously, Arsenal will drop down to Leicester. Yeah, unknown in that sense.
Yeah.
But Kelechi was a finisher, but he was a very, very frustrating player. So we lost him. Dennis Pratt, every Leicester fan would say they loved him. But you ask them where his best position is.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I listened to a Paul Merson podcast. I'm not sure I agree with it. He said, nowadays you have so much versatility in players. You need to be an expert in one position.
Yeah.
Selfishly, I think you need to do that. Maybe when you get to that level, you can have that versatility. When you're younger, don't start saying, "Oh yeah, I'll play anywhere."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You play one position and you excel.
Yeah.
In that one, Dennis Pratt, when he came here, that eight where Ndidi was playing.
Yeah, like him breaking into the box, getting these random goals. Like that's what I remember Pratt for.
Yeah, opposite side Dewsbury Hall, they've been perfect, but he still just couldn't. I say he was getting the Belgium squad. It's very surprising, and yeah, I think we paid 15 million for him.
Yeah,
to 20, and we lost him on a free. Kelechi we paid 30. Yeah, and he went on a free. And Albrighton, obviously, we lost on a free. So again, we've lost 45 million's worth. We've recouped nothing on that. Obviously, that goes on to PSR as well.
Yeah.
So losing those three has made our squad weaker. They're not breaking into our 11. So I don't. Yeah, the Cordova Reed, I like the signing in terms of versatility, but he's not improving the squad, the team.
No. He's still a bench player for me.
He is. We are interested in, is it Asprilla from Watford?
Okay.
Yes, Sir Asprilla, winger. He's 22. I think he's Colombian. Again, we don't seem to do business quickly. I don't know if you remember who was the Italian centre midfielder? It was this window. It only cost £1 million, and it took from the 1st January to literally the end of January, and we pulled out of it in the last minute. And I think it could be injuries or whatever. I'll find the name in a minute. But we don't seem to do things quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Forest with Cooper, they were making a sign every 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll just get it over the line. I think fans get disengaged with the club when you see players leave but not coming in. You know, it's as a fan, you want to see new blood. You want to see someone new in the shirt. It gets you excited.
Yeah.
We haven't got that yet.
Do you think because of the transition from the late Vishai to his son Iwat, that has altered the way you guys do business massively?
I do think that, yeah. I don't think Top is... Obviously, his dad was phenomenal, and obviously Top has learned as much as he can. But it's not like the torch was passed on, the torch was dropped, and he's picked it up.
Yeah, yeah. So he's been learning on the fly a bit.
And the problem, he's got Rudkin, who is the most clueless director or CEO you'll ever see. I think I've seen it when we won when we beat Preston and we got promoted. He just sat there in his seat. Everyone's clapping around him. He's like, wasn't even smiling. I went, that just sums it up. And he hasn't adhered to the fans whatsoever. And, you know, I think you might have seen it that they charged £10 behind a paywall to watch a friendly.
Madness.
And considering how much Vichai did for the community, he donated so much to children's hospitals. He did so much. We're now so blind. I think haven't we got like a crypto gambling sponsor on our shirt. Yeah. It's just clearly all about the money. Yeah. It's not about the cause that's been set, and the divide between the club and the fans is getting larger.
Oof. That's not nice.
The problem, which and we're a community team. We're very very close. But when you get into the Prem, you get the slightly plastic Leicester fans. You know, the ones that I'm a Leicester fan, but my second team's United. those kind of Leicester fans.
Yeah.
That's why we get 32,000 every Premier League game, but only 29, 28 for the Championship game, which is still very very good.
Yeah.
So they come out the woodwork. And if we start badly, and you know, I think last year we won a game and they were booing the fans. We won a game and we were booing because of the possession-based game we were playing. Yeah, just trying to grind the teams down. And I think I've seen someone in your Discord. It was like I think Palmer Season said something like,
"Oh, do you know who that is?"
No,
that's Prash.
I've seen it. Is it Prash? Right, I'll have him.
He's one of yours, mate.
Yeah.
Cut from the same troll cloth.
I'll have him. Yeah. That makes sense. I've lost train of thought now. What was saying? Chelsea. He said about how it was boring watching Pochettino. I thought it was quite exciting for the neutral. I thought you were very attacking. It was... This one is going to be a different level. You need patience, and I think you're probably not so you as a fan, but the Chelsea fan base, led by Bowley, is very impatient with how you want your football. Yeah, you want yours fast, which we all do. Yeah, and to be fair, you have the players for it. You haven't got the possession based players, so play to your strength. Your strengths are get it to your better players, get it to your Palmer, get it to your on the ball. Yeah. Defensively, I think you'll probably struggle.
Yeah, I'm seeing it during preseason, so I believe you.
Yes, I think I see we went 3.5 to 15 minutes against Man City.
Yeah.
It's I think you'll shift a lot, and but you're going to score a lot. So assets-wise, Chelsea high, defence, do not draft.
Yeah.
Purely, not on ability, purely on just how Maresca wants to play. And I think having that mentality of we're going to grind you out, got the Leicester fans on his back. I think he came out and said, you need to support us better or something. Yeah. That's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Just thank the fans. I know it's bad. But you're going to have that problem this season. And I don't wish, when he left us, people are like, oh, you must be gutted, he got you promoted. I'm like, no. Because I think we would have been annihilated with his football because of better teams. Obviously, you're way better than us, so you're able to score the goals
to counterbalance the goals conceded. Yeah.
We won't do that. We'll be 2 or 3 down, and then the fans get on your back.
Yeah.
And that's what I think grounded Leicester fans down, and him eventually. And it became a little bit sour. And I think apparently Vardy had to call a team meeting or something to get the players in because we wobbled. We almost bottled it.
Yeah.
There was
genuine. Yeah, there was a point where
probably 13. I think even more than that, 15 points clear. Something silly of like 3rd place, and at one point we were 3rd.
Yeah.
With the game in hand, and then luckily the other 2 teams kind of bottled it for us.
Yeah.
We didn't exactly outright win the league. We kind of stumbled over the line.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we go from with 6 to 12 point deduction.
Yeah, so there's 2 names I want to touch on before we talk about new season's expectations. Michael Golding and Caleb Okoli. Anyone with a note there?
So obviously he came from Chelsea.
Michael Golding came from Chelsea. Yeah.
So I was surprised. I've never heard him. So when we got him, and I've watched him, he's very good on the ball.
Yeah. 18-year-old kid. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's very good on the ball, but that's probably, your academy are very good.
Yeah.
So that's not a surprise. Our academy is so. Anyone dropping, I think it's when any top level academy player drops down to a mid to bottom Premier League team, they stand out in terms of their quality on the ball.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see a lot of him in terms of maybe getting on the pitch, but I don't think where his best position is. And then Caleb Okoli is a lad from Atalanta, and he's the one that will probably get in.
Centre back.
Yeah, because I think he's quite dominant, but he's not very tall. So I think he's quite aggressive. So him and Faz would that's a nightmare to think of if he's going to be rash.
Yeah.
So those 2, I'm not high. Trax and but then again, if it's not a Coley, then it's Cody.
Yeah.
If it's not Cody, it's Vestergaard.
So a bit of uncertainty there.
Hugely. But if you're spending 10 million on a centre back, and we've not spent any money anywhere else, are you forced to play him? That'll be the question that Cooper's got to answer.
So what would be your expected formation starting 11 looking forward to the 24-25 campaign?
It will be on paper. It will be a 4-2-2-2.
Mm-hmm.
4-2-3-1. Let's go that so far. So the back four will be JJ, James Justin left back, Ricky P right back. It'll be Hermanson in goal. Wout Faz plus another.
Yeah. Okay.
That one we don't know. Then it will be. And I've seen some form. There's a guy I've seen in pre-season. I've not even mentioned yet. Samari. He's back.
Oh, okay.
Alone.
Right.
Now, he looked, for the neutral, okay on the eye. He has a bit lumbering. He can get about a bit, but on the ball wasn't particularly good. It was Winks and Diddy and him in a 3.
Okay.
And then you've got Fatu on the left, Mavadidi on the right, and then Patson Daka up front because Vardy's I think he's got a knock or something. And then what would happen is Ricky P will go into midfield alongside Winks, and that pushes Samare and Ndidi as the 2 8s. I do expect there to be someone not named Samare to be in that position. So it will line up, I think, exactly how you're going to line up.
Right.
Start with and then end attacking-wise with a shift inwards. And then I think JJ can go inside as well, and Ricky P can go to right back. So that's how it on paper, but obviously we're going to be very much behind. We had most possession last season. It'd be interesting if we don't get the control this season. Do we then go flat back 4, and then we're never going to get out?
Yeah.
But that's the formation I think we'll go with and transition.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, looking at your preseason, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but again, new manager, new system, new setting, new environment, a lot is kind of up in the air, but I think we have a good idea of who we kind of need to be targeting. And obviously we're going to, lock that down in the next segment. But before we move on to the next segment, quick rant about this. Or maybe not a rant, but let's kind of bring to light this PSR deduction that is looming over you guys for next season.
Yeah. So we had 2 fines. I think it was one in the championship because we ended up breaking that one as well. And then I don't know how you managed to do that. And then we broke the Premier League one, but we broke that 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
But because they're separate entities, you can't get a deduction for something. It just shows you how broken the pyramid is.
Yeah.
The Premier League is so separate.
Yeah.
It's not just a separate league. It's almost it's a separate business model that you happen to get into if you win the other one, the Football League, as it's called. So that was looming over us, and we were never getting away from that. The fine, in terms of the point deduction, I said to one of my friends who's also Trax and co-manager in my dynasty, I said, if we get around 6-7 points, we've got a chance. If it's north of 9,
it'll be an uphill battle. Yeah.
Yeah. But that will, and this is where I think it might help us in terms of the mentality of the players and the fans. We're probably super odds on to go down. So there's no pressure. Yeah.
Which is sometimes it can work in your favor. So.
Yeah, which I think might work for Cooper, because I think he's been employed to not just for this season, it's for beyond. Yeah, because we know he can do it from the championship as well. Yeah, he can build a team.
Yeah.
So I think with the PSI over our heads, it hurts you because we lost Dewsbury Hall, who I touted before he even got back into the Leicester team when he was at Luton.
Yeah,
he was when I think Luton was in League 1 or League 2. And he was balling out then. I was like, this kid's very good.
Yeah.
So losing him for, was it 30 million? That really hurt. And the fact that, and here's my thing. Why don't we because we're going to get point deduction anyway. So why sell him?
Yeah.
Obviously there must be some other ones where if you would trigger even more fines or whatever, but if we're going to get a point deduction, keep him.
Yeah.
Take the bigger point deduction.
Yeah.
Dewsbury Hall in that system will get you more points than the fine itself.
Yeah.
But it leaves a cloud over the club. And some of the stuff that's been going on in transfers about youths being sold to other teams to get over the PSR. And we're sitting there with our finger up our own arses, not doing that.
Yeah.
Villa are doing it, Newcastle are doing it, Everton are doing it. Just a roundabout. Even Chelsea are doing it. But then again, teams have done it for years, I think. Not so much because the PSR has not been there, but just to help the books.
Yeah.
Man City sell academy graduates for 15, 20 million. Didn't the Lap go for like 10, 15 million recently? They just seem to sell their academy players for and get so much. I think that's what Chelsea's trying to do. Oh, if Liverpool can sell their academy graduates for X amount, why can't we?
Yeah.
And then you've got Villa buying Dobbin from Everton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elliot Anderson for 35 million.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there like, oh, we're the ones in danger. Are we not going to be involved in that?
Yeah.
And again, that's how poorly ran. We haven't got the nous, we haven't got the business acumen to go, oh, hold on, if we do that, we can get out of this.
Yeah.
We haven't got businessmen or guys in football at the top, and that's until that gets ripped out from root and stem. It's going to be that for quite a long time.
Fair.
I don't know how your club does it. Oh, your club has 7-8 year contracts.
Yeah.
So that's how you can do it.
We're being run like a basketball team, basically. So
absolutely, and it's well, I say it works. You've always been short term, and it's always worked.
Yeah,
so it's your model.
All right, let's move on to the next segment. I think the segment where everyone is going to tune in for sure, the fan track side of things. All right, Kieran, talk to us. First pick from Leicester, which round are you taking him?
The first pick, well, there's only a couple of picks to have. The first pick is Fatawu.
Okay. And
I did the DPL draft yesterday, live draft, which is very rare to find.
Yeah.
And I took him. Let me get it up. I took him in the 8th.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
7th or...
He's been going around between maybe as high as 6th. Yeah, 6th to 8th.
7th.
Yeah.
7th round. And Mavadidi went 4 places before him.
Right. Okay.
So just into the 6/7th round, and Fatawu into the 7th. Now, if we can get the ball to them, these guys are serious Fantrax assets.
So why do you rate Fatawu over Mavadidi though?
He beats his man. And it's just his quality. So he beats him both ways. So Fatawu can, if he comes inside, he'll shoot.
Yeah. If
he goes wide, he'll kind of float across in. So he's always willing to get, the cross and key pass. When he cuts inside, his head's down. He reminds me of like a Madueke, but a smaller and lower sense of gravity. Mm-hmm. Steffi is again very much in the same ilk. I think numbers wise, it looked like Mav put up better numbers.
Okay.
In terms of goals and assists, but you look at Fatawu in terms of
like underlying numbers.
Ghost
points, as we love.
Is because when you're watching any game and you when you see something happen, you go, "Oh, that's a point."
Yeah.
Even though it's not Fantrax.
Yeah.
Every area you go, "Oh, that's a point."
Yeah.
So I've seen him skip past 3 players and go, "Oh, that's 3 points."
Yeah.
And I remember Fantrax going up to don't.
They counted like, "Oh, that's just one dribble,"
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's just one. You just beat 3 men. So his ability, he's so fast. I think what Adama used to get. Adama used to get a dribble for not actually going past the player, but kind of like knocking it past him and getting across him. He'd get a successful dribble because he'd be in front of them, but not dribble past them.
Yeah.
Fatawu kind of draws you in, beats the man, and then will slow down, beat them again. He's also on set pieces on the right hand side.
Fatawu.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other side was Dewsbury Hall.
Right. Okay.
But I've seen Steffi taken.
Okay.
So those two are both, and without besides those two, you haven't got anyone taking set pieces.
Right. Okay.
In the team, so you've got a set piece taker there, and also with wingers, they incite fouls. And with those fouls, they then get the ability to put a ball in.
Yeah.
And the chances are, if there's a free kick on the right hand side, if Fatawu been brought down, Steph's not going to go all the way to the side to put a ball in.
Yeah.
So Fatawu will have it. So you've got half a set piece taker there, And also, I don't know about you, but last season there was a definite midfield lack in Fantrax. If you had a midfield, you pretty much did particularly well.
Yeah.
You couldn't find anything on the waiver. Forwards, there was
too many.
I think this season, just from the draft itself, I won't say there's too many forwards, but there's definitely because players have changed position.
Yeah.
Bailey's changed, Madueke's changed, Diallo changed. And
potentially, players. But there is a drop off in quality.
There is. So the 3 strikers I got. So I didn't pick a striker till Fatu. No, sorry, that's a lie. I took Minte.
Yeah.
I took him early because I took him round 5.
Okay.
So I took him round 5. I took Fatu round 7, and I took Hudson-Odoi round 9.
Yeah.
So you can see what kind of players I'm going for.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the way you got to play this game, enjoy the assets that you own, right? You got to enjoy watching them play football as well, and those are 3 exciting players.
Yeah, and I think it's the upside of that. So Fatu is your number one. There won't be too much difference between them. They won't get rotated nearly as much because there's only 1 game a week as opposed to 1.5 a game on average in the Championship. So he's the one, the asset that will get slept on a little bit because Mavididi is the higher ADP at present.
Yeah.
I think he's just a more well-known name.
I feel like people also just look at goals and assists.
Yeah, they do. And I think also with Fatu, he had 10 goals, 10 assists, but I think like 3 of those goals were in 1 game.
Okay.
So that kind of like people are like, it's probably a little bit less than what it is, but it's underlying numbers that will be. And it's like I said, they're both what Steffi 22 or 21, and Fatu's 19, 20 now.
Yeah.
So they've got that youth exuberance behind them. So yeah, Fatu is the one, and then Mavididi what's their close second, but probably next round.
Yeah.
But like I say, it's what you need in terms of strikers. If you don't get a forward 1 in the first 4 picks, then you're dicing it, aren't you? That's because I went 4 midfielders in the first 4.
Yeah.
So last year, and in Genie, I came second in the Europa, so we got promoted to the Champions. And I'll tell you my first 5 picks. So we took Son.
Yeah.
Right? Second pick, Grealish.
Oh.
Third pick, Chilwell.
Oh.
4th pick, Jackson.
I can live with that.
Oh no, it gets worse. 5th pick, Mudryk.
Oh my god.
And then 6th pick was Richarlison.
Were you relegated like immediately?
No, we came second.
That's mental how you came second with that team.
So Jackson, we actually sold.
Okay.
For a small amount of fab because he was pissing us off.
Yeah.
When he was and then he turned amazing, which is
also would have pissed you off.
Yeah, which was annoying. So again, Grealish was a dud, Chilwell dud.
Yeah.
But then we sold Richarlison to the Kane owner.
Okay.
Because you just lost him.
Yeah.
2 minutes before the deadline of the James Ward-Prowse. So we got James Ward-Prowse 101 fab. I got Barkley in a lot of my leagues early because I think I think 1 game he got like 8 points, ghost, and then he got injured, or half time. And I think we're having him. Took all the leads. So our midfield, and then I drafted Douglas Luiz like round 10.
Oh, love that.
So we had Barkley, James Ward-Prowse, and Luiz, and that was our spine.
Yeah,
and that just kept us going. And other leagues, in the high rollers, I had Tavernier, Kulusevski, Dwight McNeil. Who's the other 2? Not Morgan as White. I can't remember. But yeah, I had 5 midfielders every week picked that would get around 10 points.
Yeah,
and it was and people were scrambling for those midfielders.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So this season, on DPR, I've gone Gordon, Maddison, Matoma, and Martinelli.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah.
And any one of those can get top 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wanted pure upside for DPO, just pure. It's fun. I want players that are just fun to play around with, and I think that's what you get with Fatu. I think what you get with Mavididi. You get exciting. Maybe not your forward one.
Yeah.
Your forward twos.
Yeah.
If you get him as a forward three, I don't know, because then you're giving up somewhere else, because you're going to need to spend a 7th round.
You're probably not drafting defenders at that point.
No, I didn't take a defender till round 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So that's the sacrifice there. So yeah, him and Mavididi. After that, the goalkeeper,
Hermansen.
Yes,
I got him in my Dynasty League, actually.
He is a very good shot stopper.
Yeah, I've heard.
Incredible shot stopper. So I looked at the saves, because it updates the previous years, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think he has the same amount of saves as Jose Sarr.
Okay.
Right? Yes, there are 8 games more.
Yeah.
But we were the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Which means we shouldn't have.
You should not be conceding that many chances.
No.
Yeah.
But we did, and he made that many saves. And I think Sarr had the most saves. And he was one below, literally, I think 333, 332. And I thought, that's interesting, because we would have dominated, and he still made a lot of saves. And obviously with the -2 change to goalkeepers, I think he will be very... And it's so sad that my third best pick is a pissing goalkeeper.
He's giving me Muric vibes then from last season.
Yes. And Anana.
Yeah. Without the IRL blunders, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Behind that, and I've seen people taking Ricardo Pereira and James Justin in Dynasty League that means they could get the form that they got. I was like, well, yeah, but they don't play that formation.
Yeah.
James Justin was a left wing back when he was flying down that wing. He was playing for England, wasn't he?
Yeah. In his prime, in his heyday.
In his prime, in his prime at 27. So beyond those two, plus the goalkeeper. Now, the other one is you're around 15, 16. In fact, you went undrafted in DPL, is Ndidi.
Would you consider him your hidden gem? Or have you got someone else for that?
Yes. Yeah. I would say he's not unknown. But if he plays the 8 role, because he's not trusted to shoot the ball and pass it.
Yeah.
If we're playing the high press, and Diddy is very good at breaking play up.
Yeah.
We've seen him. He was touted one of the best defensive midfielders about 5 years ago. Wanted everywhere. He'd do it from a deeper position.
Yeah. If
he's playing an 8 and wins the ball higher, his pass is to Fatu.
It'll be like a key pass, basically.
That's what he does. That's why Dewsbury Hall was so good in terms of key passes as well, because he'd be the pass to Mavididi.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
So Ndidi is the pass. Yeah. So it'll be Winks to Ndidi and Ndidi to Fatu, and then he will do something.
Okay.
It could be a shot. So he'll be told to get in the box as well.
Yeah.
Because he's got Ricky P and Winks behind him. So in terms of the gem, is you've got I'd say like a Nana type for, but a bit more advanced, very similar, that lengthy, bit awkward to look on the eye, but will get would trickle your points,
like a steady Eddie with a bit of a ceiling, right? It sounds like a
with
tidy mid-4, mid-5 sort of player, maybe.
Yeah. If I didn't have 6 midfielders, I would have grabbed him as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say he was as close to our hidden gem as you. He's probably a unknown quantity at this point. So yeah, if you're looking for a mid-4, mid-5 with key pass upside, I'll go with him.
Okay. And who would you list as a trap that you think managers are drafting and maybe shouldn't be?
Probably Ricardo Pereira.
Yeah.
And it's not the fact he's not going to score bad. Well, we'll concede. It's just you're not getting Ricky P of 4 years ago when he was unbelievable. Not going to get that guy. He's inverted. I think he scored 3 goals last season, 3 assists in 45 games. It's pretty good for a defender. It's not horrendous. But I think that's the name that pulls you in. If you're scrolling through, I don't know, round 11, but again, you're not paying. It's not a trap in the sense of, because you're not going to go round 8 for him.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't think there's actually a Fantrax trap. There's more of a look elsewhere trap.
Yeah.
Don't pick him. Expect something. You drop him as soon as you pick him up. He's the name.
Yeah.
That people go when you're scrolling through your ADPs and think, oh, who do I pick?
Yeah. In a panic, you just gravitate towards the name you know, right? So
and Ricky Pease, they think, oh yeah, Ricardo Prep. Yeah. we'll grab him. So it's not much. I would say it's a Fantrax trap. It's just I'd say it's a roster trap.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's got zero upside.
Yeah.
More of a namesake than anything else.
Okay, awesome. Are there any other assets you want to mention before we move on to our final segment?
Unfortunately not. Obviously, there's the striker. If I'm advising 2 wingers, you'd think I'd mention
Daka, Vardy.
Daka.
Yeah.
Daka has one of the worst conversion rates I've ever seen. And then you've got God himself, who has, I think, he has the highest conversion rate of any Premier League striker ever over a set amount of games. I think it's 44% conversion or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if Vardy gets a chance, he'd likely puts it away.
Yeah.
But he won't play more than 60 minutes.
Yeah. And from what I remember, he doesn't ghost well. He's very much return dependent. No,
he doesn't chase down, doesn't get the interceptions or tackles. That's a 31-year-old Vardy. That was young Vardy.
Yeah.
This is I think he's 38. Or I think he turns 38.
Good
in
Lord.
December.
It's amazing what a cryo chamber can do for your life, though.
And the nicotine patches, the nicotine.
The little things you stick in your gum. Yeah.
Yeah, he has those. His Red Bulls and his cryo chamber as well. And it's like I say, he can do what he wants.
Yeah.
He's untouchable.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants. And
club legend, right? So.
I think I tweeted this. I said he's Leicester's greatest ever player.
Yeah, I believe
He's not Leicester's. Sorry, he's Leicester's greatest. Yeah, greatest ever player, but he's not Leicester's best ever player.
Yeah,
that goes to you, Mark.
Yeah, that's well put. Yeah, for sure.
But he's without doubt. I think it's his 11th year.
Mental.
Which is insane
and rare to find these days as well. So
very rare. So he'll have the keys to the city. He can do what he wants. I think this will be his swan song, though. This will be Daka. He'll probably be a trap. In fact, coming back to it, I think when people are looking for that third striker, look elsewhere.
Yeah,
because he's just wasteful. I think it to be every game to be Vardy 60 minutes, Daka comes on.
Yeah.
Or Daka 60 minutes, Vardy comes on.
Okay.
And it'll be that constant rotation, which it was last year.
Yeah.
So Daka's probably your forward 3 trap. Do not draft him.
Okay.
If you need a forward 4 just because your third striker or second striker's got a knock.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick him up. Okay. But no, I'd avoid him at all costs, and that's coming from a Leicester fan.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to our final segment, the advice segment. So we're gonna pick Kieran's brain, ask him a few questions. Let's see what he has to say. So first one up. Do you have a drafting day tradition? Do you wear lucky underwear? Do you have to sleep on a particular side of the bed? And what's your drafting strategy? Like, do you use an Excel sheet or you're a vibes manager?
I used to be very much tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, highlight them as they go off the board.
Yeah.
And that brought me semi-success. And then I just thought, the DPL one last night, I didn't even look at I basically write down 4 players that I want based on the pick I've got. And then I just go from vibing from there.
Fair.
And And I know if people have draft kits and all this planning, and what the draft site are doing, putting stuff out for people, it's their prerogative if they want to use it or not. It's completely up to you. I like to, for some reason, make things harder for myself because I like the challenge of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I like I don't want any help.
Yeah.
I like to, if I mess up, it's me.
Yeah. You have no one else to blame other than yourself, right?
Exactly. So, I don't want to read an article or sign up that says, "Oh, pick this guy over this guy." I then do that, and he does worse than another guy. I'm thinking, wait, but I still made the decision. I want all the blame to be with me.
Yeah.
Because then the success is also sweeter as well.
100%. Yeah.
And we'll come down to the worst trade you'll ever see soon, and it was the high rollers. Will come to that.
Yeah.
Soon, but in terms of traditions, I was watching the golf whilst I was drafting at the same time, and just listen out for the
little siren.
and that's what it was. And I think I used to get quite, not say stressed about it.
Yeah.
Although I did want Kudus, and he was taken just before me on the second round.
Yeah.
And I ended up settling for Madison. That flustered me a bit.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not what I wanted. So I was. It was more just like the vibes of it, because I've always been into the numbers of the game, but sometimes, and also the draft just, and I proved it with you when I said when I drafted Grealish, Chilwell, Jackson, and Woodrick.
Yeah, it
does not matter how you start.
Yeah,
you obviously you can draft unbelievably, and you could walk a league.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen very often.
No,
you look at the winner and his starting team. It's very rare. Like, I didn't.
Yeah,
it's very rare you see that. So it's not how you start. People put so much pressure on the draft day.
Yeah,
I've learned that it does not matter. I think it's about your pickups.
Yeah, yeah.
You only need maybe 3 or 4 players, and you could pretty much pick up a free agent 7 other players.
Yeah,
and win a league. So it's about nailing a few picks, not nailing. So when you say, the first 9 just think about yourself. If you nail 3 or 4 picks, then you use your management judgment.
Yeah,
get in early. I'm very, very early with like using Fab for players. Like, he looks good.
Yeah.
Get him early.
Yeah,
because there's nothing more than procrastinating. Think, I'll see how he does one more game.
Yeah,
and then he pops off and someone out Fabs you, and it's like should have took that. So it's paying attention to the not the guy who scores loads of points. Because obviously, I imagine a lot of managers do it, and I do it as well. You filter by who scored the most points that game week.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
But why not look at the guy who's like 12th on the list that only played 45 minutes, which is what I did with Barkley.
Yeah.
He only played 45 minutes, got like 10 points, and I thought, I'll take him. And I think I got him as a free agent in those leagues. So I got him for 0 because he wasn't high on the list. So it's all about finding that niche. And I've always been good at the picking up of players. And
that's how I got Mitoma a couple of seasons ago. He got a few minutes off the bench. You saw his ghost point potential. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to grab him. De Zerbi's chatting him up. And the rest was history. So
yeah, I had similar successes with, this is going quite far back, Reece James. I watched him for 10 minutes against Arsenal when he came on for his debut. I watched him and went, I'm having him in my team. About 2 or 3 games, and he started to play. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Same with who was the other one? Lamptey. When he was at Chelsea, and I think he only played a few minutes, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I thought this guy, and I took him at Brighton. Same with Adama.
Yeah, yeah.
All these ones as well. It's all about, because your draft never goes. You look back every year. I don't know if you do this. You always go back to the draft of every league. You think, what the hell was I thinking? Why did I think? And you think, why have I done that? You think, no wonder I didn't.
Yeah.
Smash the league. So you always have to rely on that, and I'm sure you do it as well. That ability to find that. Like I said, the Matoma pickup is a top 10 player.
Yeah.
Palmer last year.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's arguably the best free agent pickup ever.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it with Robbie as well. Halfway through the season, last season, McAllister became another one. That if you identified it quickly, you would have smashed your league, I think.
Yeah, it's those lot of things. I think who do I have in my league? Was it Prash? Was it Prash in my league last year?
Quite possibly.
I think he's in high rollers. His midfield was a joke. He had Saka, Palmer, Bowen.
Oh my god!
It was insane. I think this obviously Palmer and that they came later on. He was quite far behind. I think he was, but I think he got 300 more points than anyone else in the league, but only came fourth. And he was absolutely smashing teams because of his Palmer pickup.
Yeah.
And was it Prash? I'm sure it was. No, Andreas.
Right.
Yeah, very, very quick.
Yeah.
This is if we're watching a Champions League game and someone goes down with like their knees hurting or something.
Right.
You look on Fantrax, it's been picked up by someone. And I don't know if you do this. And I imagine there's a group chat with the TDS boys. Well, obviously there is.
Yeah.
If you go to it's like the DPL or the Gene League, and you go to all leagues, and you look at recent transfers,
it'll be the same transfer across all leagues.
Same transfer. It's the same group chat within a minute of each other. And I'm thinking, are you?
Yeah.
Which is why I think if you play a home league,
yeah,
and also play these community leagues, you're a massive advantage.
Oh yeah, you'll storm your home league, like
because you'll see what the people, the experienced drafters do, and go, I'm just going to follow that.
Exactly.
So in terms of advice with it, it's not about how you start.
Yeah.
It's not about how you start. It's all about how you finish. Because I had a terrible draft in one league and finished second just because of really 2 pickups.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest advice is don't put so much pressure on yourself on the draft day, which you all do. It's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially a live draft. Just get the
adrenaline pump for sure.
It does until about round 11, then you get bored.
Yeah. Then you're like, I just want this to end. Can I order?
Just end. I'm scrolling. I can't even find starters anymore. It just put my minutes. The first 5-6 rounds are like, I need my spine, give me my backbone.
Yeah.
And then you can start going for your upsides.
Yeah.
And when you get to about 11, you think, just get me out. Get me out.
Exactly. Do you have any experience with trading draft picks?
No, and I hate it when people do because it disrupts what especially if they're next to me.
Yeah.
And I think, I can take so-and-so because they've already got 2 defenders. So I was drafting next to Matt, so King Arthur, and Tom Fireworm. They were next to me.
Yeah.
And they were they were trading picks for like a week.
Yeah.
Fab and same with Robbie. Just change. I'm like, who's got what?
I saw this. Was this the league that drafted yesterday or last night?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
So I was about off. I was thinking, it's great. I've got a pick. Round 8. I need a defender.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Tom's team. He's already got Trent. He's already got Tarkovsky, and he's already got someone else. I think is. And I thought, Branthwaite's still there.
Yeah.
Great. 8th round. And he takes him. I'm like, why has he done that? And then I look up and Robbie's got...
It's got the little
Trent.
tags.
Yeah. I'm like, no. And then next to it was him. It was Tom again, Fireworm again.
Yeah.
He had double pick.
Yeah.
That's why he could have picked up a defender. Because his other pick was a bit more sensible to what he needed.
Yeah.
But I didn't know... Because that's the problem. It doesn't shift.
No.
Over, so you don't know who's got what.
Yeah,
which means it messes
you have
up
to
your planning.
calculate it in the draft. Yeah.
Because you always get a bit nervous when it comes to your pick, thinking, "Please don't take so and so or whatnot." So it's not something I don't like trading picks. It's more it messes up how I think other managers are thinking to affect my decision.
Interesting.
I know other managers, and I did it. In DPL, I think I offered 100 fab for every single 4th or 5th pick. Just offer it out. If they accept it, great. I know the experienced manager should never do that.
That's like genie vibes right there. So.
Oh no, yeah, he sent me one. He asked me for round 4 pick 1 for 100 fab.
Yeah.
Let's go away. Also, do not trade, because he just trades up. So luckily there's been no trades.
Yeah.
We start drafting on Wednesday, so I hope that's going to be good. But I don't like to trade draft picks because it mess up my very blasé strategy anyway. I like having I know the 4 that I want. If I start trading draft picks, then I'll start paying more attention to it.
You might lose the fun of it, right? So
yes. And I'm thinking, so I don't usually trade picks unless someone wants to give me a pick and take all my fab. But that won't happen, not in these leagues.
So how do you do like waiver claims, FA pickups? Like, what's your general strategy around those?
It's almost trying to think what other managers would do in terms of value.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you go, I value at what I value at, and stick to that number. But if you want a player, then if you really want to play, you put all your fab in. But you know that you have to play the calculation game. So I tend to, obviously you got your round numbers, your 5, 10s, 15, 20s. I always go 2 fab above each one.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I always do a weird number. Like, I expect people bid 5, I'm going to put 7.
Because you expect 6.
Yeah,
you expect
exactly. Yeah. You got it, man.
Yeah. And then you lose out to waiver priority when someone else bids 7 as well. I think that's worked against you, because you know you were willing to pay 15.
Yeah.
But you've spite your face kind of situation, and then you think. Previous years, apart from James Ward-Prowse for 101 fab, I've gone quite chunky with a few bids. So one of the worst ones was Guedes for 70 fab in 3 leagues. So that done me.
Yeah.
And I said I'd never do it again. And that was it. I had James Ward-Prowse in the high rollers.
Yeah.
Because, and I haven't told him this, so Luke H.
Luke H. Sounds
Luke H. I think he's in like the he's in those of it's in DPL and G leagues as well. I was second pick, so Haaland was always going to go first last year.
Yeah,
and I wanted Salah because of the scarcity. Sorry, I wanted Salah, but I was second pick. Luke is a United fan, massive United fan.
Yeah,
and an hour before we drafted, I went, "Are you picking third?" Just having a conversation. He went, "Oh, I want Bruno." I was like, "Yeah, I'm taking Bruno." I had no intention of taking Bruno, and I said, "Tell you what about if I draft Bruno, you draft Salah, and whilst the draft is going on, we make the trade, and you give me 20 fab."
Fair enough.
I basically got 20 fab
for
free,
nothing.
For nothing, which I then used to pay 101 fab.
Love that.
For James Ward-Prowse.
Love that.
So having him, Dwight McNeil, Kulusevski, Tavernier, that midfield rock base. So yeah, that was more opportunist.
Yeah.
There's always a United fan in your leagues. What's a popular saying? You know more than 5 yards from a rat or a United fan.
Yeah, not too many United fans, mate.
Yeah. So they're always biased towards their club.
Yeah, definitely.
And in that sense, I just took the advantage. But yeah, I think Ryan said about the nickel and diamond. So in fact, in Genie, I think we got the 11th pick, as in the 11th choice of picks. And I was like, well, that's not going to be good enough, because I'll get like pick 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So I offered 17 fab for the guy who picked 12th.
Okay.
Not the 12th choice. Got pick 12. So I wanted the end. So I paid 17 fab to get an end slot.
Right.
So I'm definitely. So I'd rather have rather have the stability of picking at either end.
Okay.
Planning's so much easier.
Yeah.
So I paid 17 fab for that because, how much of the fab do you piss up the wall? Half?
Yeah, it depends. Well, I mean, speaking of fab, do you not try to spread it across the season? Like, you're willing to splurge all of it?
I've got better. I was a splurger. I like shiny things.
Yeah.
And I said I'm not splurging. Obviously, James Ward-Prowse, I think he was an anomaly. Right. I think he's probably about the only one that actually was worth paying 101.
Yeah.
I know he dipped. He had a dip after about February or something, but leading up to that, he was great. But yeah, now I've toned it down and just like few fab here, few fab there, and it's just. I think it's more for the long one because the last 4 or 5 weeks when people haven't got fab and there's double game weeks, just that little one fab.
$1 goes a long way.
When you've got 8 people bid on the same person, one fab wins it. It's mental. It's huge. I think about 3 years ago, I think in the DPL league we had one. I forgot his name actually. He had the monopoly of all of the fab from about February.
Yeah.
So he was dropping all his players.
Yeah.
For a double game week.
Yeah.
Picking up all the double game week players, playing them, and then picking up his round ones, round twos that he'd put on the waiver to back up again. And it's funny because everyone was bidding on those players.
Obviously.
In case he.
You can't slip up. No.
I think he had Saka or something on the waiver, knowing that he can pick them straight back up for the doubles. So he got all the double picks, and Danny Knoll was the
right. Yeah.
He had, and then he tried it next season and messed up. I think he got 350 fab, and gave away all his picks.
Yeah,
and I don't think it materialised that way. But I think a lot of people. I think this year's going to be different because I don't think there's going to be a lot of big signings because of how the PSR is working.
Agreed. Yeah.
I used to stay up on transfer deadline day because it used to be so exciting 10, 15 years ago. It's great.
Yeah.
Now, how many players have came into this league are genuine starters in their teams?
Yeah.
I can't think of many that would instantly demand a starting spot in the 11. Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah.
Comes to mind.
But that's also because Gallagher's leaving, right? It's not like it's a guaranteed thing. So
no, it's not like he's been brought in to push someone out. Someone's leaving and being replaced.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get. Well, I think when people held fab into January, there's no one.
Yeah.
January's a
dead zone.
Wasteland. Yeah. So it's using it to trade, and maybe offer players out. For fab, I don't know if people do that.
Yeah, some do. Yeah. Some do.
Because and then if no one says yes, then you just drop them.
Yeah,
it's no skin off your nose. But I think that the nickel and diamond. I think more now with the PSR changes is probably the way to go.
Okay.
But I don't think I think you look at past year and you got Alexis Sanchez joining the league, Ozil joining the league, when Lukaku joined and Ronaldo that year.
Yeah, people were spending 300 fab. It was mental.
Stupid. Yeah. Bale when he came. People were paying a lot of money for him. And I don't think we're going to see that because a lot of clubs now get their business done early as well. They want to get it if a championship player's going down. For example, I don't expect to see Doughty come into the league or Adebayo because the league starts in 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks
now.
Yeah.
So it won't. And again, they're not guaranteed starters. They're not worth 80, 90 fab because you don't know if they're going to be playing or not. So I think Nick and Diamond is probably what most people should be aiming for. But it's like free money almost in your pocket.
Yeah.
I want him, especially if you've got a bias towards certain players as well. It's hard.
Yeah, true. Do you want to quickly just state what was this terrible trade that you did?
Oh, yeah. So I worked out that if I had played the 11 that I drafted with, let's see if I can find it. I'll tell you what it was. So this was high rollers 2 years ago. Right, let me get the archive leagues up. Okay, so first pick was Bruno, which I didn't like it. It was right. So that was last year's high rollers. Okay, here we go. No, that was the previous year. So I had Bruno, Robbo, Rashford, Trippier.
Mm.
And I got Solly March in the 16th round.
Wow.
Yes. I just grabbed him and thought, he might be good. I also had Eze and Joelinton.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had a midfielder of Bruno, Joelinton, Eze, March, and another one as well.
Sounds
and
illegal.
I had Rashford. Yeah, and I had Robertson and Trippier at the back as well. So mental. The trade was...
What is this, a six-man league, Kieran?
It was bad. Okay, high rollers. Here we go. Okay, so the trade was to Yoda. I think this was before Trippier was Trippier. He had that. He could join in Jan. Did he join Jan? And he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Then he got injured, didn't he? Got injured
after like 5 game weeks. He had a smashing start, and yeah.
Yeah, he was injured, so he struggled to get to that level. So I think we drafted like a third round. In fact, I think we took Robertson and Trippier in round 2 and 3, which is just awful. So United started poorly. Rashford started poorly. Bruno started poorly. So I offered. I'm just going for the wrong time. Trippier, Rashford, Bruno, and Robertson for KDB, Odegaard, Vardy, and Target.
Oh, it was great until you said Vardy and Target.
Yeah, because in my mind, I was Trippier was slightly higher than Target, because Target was actually a good ghoster.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Yeah, before Trippier was...
Before Ismail Assar ruined his career, or whatever.
Yeah, so... and obviously, Rashford was hot trash for about 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
So it was an early trade.
Yeah.
And the league were not happy with the trade.
Yeah.
Not because of who I gave away, because of who I got.
Yeah.
They thought I was getting such a weighted... They thought I'd won.
Yeah.
They thought I'd got the best deal of it. When in fact, that lineup, I had 5 top 10 players. Trippier was top 10, Rashford top 10, Bruno top 10, Solly March was top 10, and was Eze, or was he like 11th?
Maybe just top 20, something like that. But he was up there, yeah.
Yeah, I think I had 4 or 5 of the top 10 players.
So you shot yourself in the foot?
Oh, massively. And you're probably thinking, wait, Solly March wasn't actually in the deal. Oh, no. Probably the worst trade you're ever going to hear was next. So I had, I had Odegaard, KDB, Eze, Joelinton. I think I had another midfielder as well. Can't remember what it was. So I had 5 plus Solly March. So I had 6. I was like, I need a striker. I haven't got a striker. So I decided to offer. I think it was Jacob. Sure it was. I offered. He didn't come back. I offered Solly March, the 8th best player in Fantrax that year, for Danny Welbeck. So I traded Robertson, Bruno, Trippier, and Rashford, and March for Vardy, Welbeck, Target, Odegaard, and KDB. Now I looked at the most points. I think the Hall of Fame or something, like who got the most points from their teams, like 4,500 or something. That team, if I hadn't have changed it, would have scored 4,700. There wouldn't have been a better team in anywhere in Fantrax. And I traded it away. And worst of all, I think Yoda then just traded different people. He was just trading all those players out to people.
Yeah.
His team got shitter, mine got shitter, and it just the worst. So now I'm very
anti-trade.
I'm very wary of what I'm trading out. Although last season I did get, I think I traded out Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Livramento for Pascal Gross, which is a very bad trade for the guy giving me Gross.
Yeah.
So there was and that was home league. That doesn't really count. So they're idiots. But yeah, that was, and it just shows you because the league were genuinely pissed.
Yeah.
They're like, look, you know, commissioner's cheating. He's just got KDB and Odegaard.
Yeah.
But it turns out that I gave away 4 of the top 10 players.
Yeah.
But we didn't know it. So it comes back to a point. It's like, it's not how you start, it's how you.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know about you. Do you hold players beyond there when you should, or are you a early dropper? Or is it more personal?
I think one of the things I've definitely learned is to be more ruthless as a Fantrax manager. You got to keep the emotion out of the game as well, which I think a lot of managers kind of get caught up in. It's like, oh, I drafted this player, I want to hold on to him, It's just like, you don't really have to. Like, I think you need to learn how to just pull the trigger, sort of thing.
Yeah, so, as soon as you draft, where you drafted them goes out the window. Yeah,
but people get also way too caught up in ADPs and where I drafted them, or because I drafted them third round, that's the value you need to give me at. No, if you drafted a shit player, that's your fault.
Exactly. A round 1 player could be Wissa after 12 games.
Yeah.
The value of that is where they are at that time. And I know, I think similar to you, previous years, I've been guilty of holding on and thinking, this is my 3rd round player. I'm not letting him go.
Yeah.
Because I want 3rd round value.
Yeah.
Well,
that's not how it works.
Better.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. And it's, I do find trading is the most important thing, and probably a bit more, is timing.
Yeah.
The most important, and you can't force timing.
Yeah.
It just happens to be, if someone scores 2 goals, don't go and offer for that player.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not going to get him. Yeah. It's all about getting that, and it was perfect for them because Rashford was shocking, Bruno didn't kick in, Trippier wasn't up to his scratch, and Robbo was injured. So, and KDB was KDB, and Odegaard was having his best goal scoring season up to that point.
Yeah.
So it was striking it when it's hot, hence why the league was so against it. But it's just that timing, and trades can make or break. I don't particularly seek out trades because I think it's hard to value. It's hard to value, and it wastes. I won't say waste time. It ends up going back and forth, and sometimes I'm sure you play with people that you just don't draft with because they'll send you you send them an average low ball trade, which you're getting a better value, and they come back with the most ludicrous trade counter, and you go, no, that's it.
Yeah.
If you go so far above what the value is, I'm not even going to entertain any negotiations.
Yeah,
so they have to be realistic. Just decline it and don't come back with anything. Don't counter with my 2 best players for one of your trash players. Because it just gets silly.
It just gets childish at that point.
Anyways,
let's try and wrap this up. Final 2 questions I think I have for you. A couple of names, Leicester assets, given your start of the season. Any names you'd buy low, sell high? Because you've got Spurs at home, Fulham away, Aston Villa at home, Crystal Palace away. Who would you buy low, you think?
I don't think there'll be a buy low option.
So sell, but would you want to sell high on Mavididi and Fatu? That's the problem.
Yeah. If it depends what your structure. If it's a forward 3, and he's on fire, yes, get rid of him. If he's your forward 2 and he's on fire, you need. If you got a forward 2 on fire, it's a massive advantage. I don't.
Yeah, you could probably upgrade to like a mid 2 if you're giving away Fatu or it's like forward 3 level.
Yeah. So I've got Fatu as my forward 2 on par with Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
It would take a lot for me to trade if he smashed it the first couple of weeks. It'd take me a lot to trade him out.
Yeah.
But that's also because I'm a Leicester fan as well.
Yeah.
Very hard. If he's on fire and we're doing well, why would I want to get rid of that? But I tell you, I think he needs to be ruthless. I'd offer him out at, and this is where I'd go. I'd lowball people. I'd put him with one of my mids. For example, I've got Paquetá. I think I took him out round 7 or 6 or something because he was just the best available there. If I combined him with Fatawu after a hot start for a forward 1, but who's accepting that?
Yeah.
Because how many forward 1s, genuine forward 1s, are there out there?
Yeah. You're right.
Not many.
Yeah.
And the name doesn't carry. It's not like he's, a Rashford where I think Rashford went round 7. If he starts hot, he has name.
Yeah.
He has forward 1. Then you can sell high.
Yeah.
I don't think our Leicester's assets are, even if they are hot, carry a name big enough. But the experienced managers will be, as soon as they're hot, they'll try and shift them out. And I don't know if you do it well. If you're going for a trade, you never offer to the player that you want. You have the player you want after, so you build up to that player.
Yeah.
Or what other player you want. So, for example, if Fatu is hot, the last thing I'm going to do is offer Fatu out.
Yeah.
So I think people do this as well, like kind of, they don't want to, they kind of shit talk who they want and big up who they're giving away.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Because
it's mind games.
My player. It is. So it's kind of like, if Fatu is hot, you go, do you want so-and-so?
Yeah.
And they go, and then you always go, well, who in my team would you want?
Yeah.
And make them make the decision.
Yeah. That's usually what I do is like, who from my team interests you? That's the way I approach it.
Yeah. And also using the trade block.
Yeah.
Never use the trade block.
Yeah. Never
use it, because as soon as you see a person on that trade block, their value drops.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Because why are they giving away?
Yeah.
You surplus the requirements.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you offer what you don't want and then let them come to you.
Yeah.
So that's it. And I don't know if managers will look and go, Fatu's had a great start. Maybe if he has crazy, successful dribble ghosts, it could be I think we're all whores for the
for the
Saint Max. For your Saint Max.
Like 8 to 10 dribbles per game. Sort
of they just warm your heart when you see that, because it's kind of like they're a cheat code. So if you're going to offer him out, don't offer him out. Let them come to you for him. But same with Mavididi. But I don't think we've got enough too low to sell high, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But in terms of the rest of the season, it's pure pessimism. It's a dogfight.
I was gonna ask you, final question. You've given a lot of great advice and shared a lot of experience, but what's one lesson learned from your previous few seasons that you're personally taking forward and applying to your season coming up?
Biggest lesson I can take is, that's a very good question. I would have said 3 years ago, I would have said the biggest advice is look at drafts, look at mock drafts, but don't take part in them.
Okay.
I think mock drafts, from what I think I did a few about 3 or 4 years ago, and it warped what your reality would be for the real thing.
Yeah.
I think observe, watch where people are going, use information from that. So I'd say don't do. I know that mock drafts are huge and people get involved in them. I'd like to just watch it as a whole, because then because some people go silly in mock drafts and they'll draft in 5 forwards in the first 5 picks. It warps. It changes your rankings, what you think you can get. It gives you optimism, and you can't pivot. Is easy. But the biggest advice, and probably coming back to what we said earlier, is it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So don't get disheartened. So many managers give up.
Yeah.
Not give up, but get disillusioned. Think, I can't turn this around. You absolutely can, but you have to do it. You have to do it quite early, though.
Yeah.
You have to make sure you're active. If you think I've drafted terrible, I've lost the first 4 games, right? I need to make sure I get those gems.
Yeah.
You have to be on the ball.
Yeah.
So if you're on the ball, you can turn your season around.
Well, you know what? I think that's the perfect way to kind of end this pod, because I would tell you as a Leicester fan the same thing. It's not how you start the season; it's how you end, right? So
are we going to schedule this in 2 more years? I'll see you in 2 years.
Hopefully not. Hopefully we'll have you back next season, right? Listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to yet another Inside Trax episode. This has been Everything Leicester. Kieran, it's been a smashing conversation with you, mate. There's a lot to take away from this. Honestly, you've shared a lot of experience, a lot of advice, and I'm sure it's going to benefit a lot of managers moving forward. Before we sign off, final words.
Fatu over Mavadidi.
I love that. All right, listeners, it's been a pleasure serving the community yet again. And yeah, I'll just have to catch you on the next episode. Until next time, peace.